So you like the Citroen e-C4, but just found it a small bit tight in the back for the passengers, and you found that boot just a small bit small. This is where the Citroen e-C4X comes in, with that longer wheelbase. Same wheelbase actually, but just a longer body overall. It is 4.36 normally on the e-C4, but on the e-C4X, it's 4.6. So you're getting 24 centimeters in length, and you get extra in the, so you're getting extra centimeters in the back, but you're also getting over 500 litres in the boot. And let's start there at that rear of the car, where that's really where you're going to be interested in the Citroen e-C4X. We're here just outside Madrid in Spain, where the C4, e-C4 and e-C4X are produced, and it's a very grey, miserable, misty day, but I still think in the white this car looks phenomenal. It comes in a couple of different colours, but I really like the white. At the rear you have that gloss black shark fin aerial. You've got your Citroen badge in gloss black with a silver chrome outline. The Citroen badge in E, the blue Citroen E identifies that it is electric. The C and the X are silver, and the 4 is black. It's not an automatic boot. It is a full hatch. We've got a couple of suitcases in here, and there is a subwell. So that's an increase up to 510 litres from about 384 on the regular e-C4. You have these wraparound taillights with that chevron design in the middle of it. Space in the subwell if you want to put your charging cables in, or if you want to purchase the extra spare wheel, you can do that as well. But overall, they're really targeting this at families that are looking for more space. They're targeting it at taxi drivers, professionals, reps on the road that want, that carry a bit of load. Yeah, impressive. And styling wise, I think it is, again, a great achievement with regards to the way that they've styled it, and it has that forward tilting design. In the back then you've got a bit of gloss black down at the bottom. You've got your fog lights on this side, and on the other side you've got your reversing lights, and then you have the space then, because in some markets this will come with combustion engine, so it will be a regular C4X. But in Europe, 14 markets are going to take it only in the electrified version, so it's a big gamble for Citroën to bring a car to market in an only electrified version in some European markets. I think it's going to pay off for them. Not much has changed on the front of the e-C4X versus its sibling, the e-C4. You've got these nice sculpted scallops in the bonnet. You've got the chrome chevrons of the Citroen branding. This is probably one of the last cars that's going to have this type of branding with the new logo that's coming through. And those chrome lines go all the way along the front and then veer off, and you've got those LED headlights and those split LED DLRs. You've got some venting in underneath because this does come in combustion engine. There is no frunk in underneath this. And then you've got some diagonal chevron echoing logos, or sorry, mouldings underneath. You've got your radar sensor in underneath as well. Overall, a really stylish looking car, and I didn't like this car when it came out first. You've got the silver air bumps at the front with the LED fog lights. Moving down along the side, you have the cladding, giving it that kind of SUV crossover kind of look. 18-inch tire or wheels, sorry, and they come in gloss black with that diamond cut silver on it. You've got the Citroen that you get on the back as well on the electrified version. Gloss black with your camera in underneath for the 360 parking camera, with cameras on front and rear. One difference that you will know if you met this front on and you were going up against, you didn't know whether it was the e-C4 or the e-C4X. That A pillar is body coloured, and when I looked at it in my initial first look, it was in black, so it was hard to see it. But the regular e-C4, this is black, whereas on the e-C4X this is body coloured. Down along the side you've got that silver air bump as well. You've got that keyless entry, body coloured door handles, gloss black B pillar with that chrome shoulder line going all the way to front to back. You've got a not full panel sunroof, but nearly 3/4. So you've got the windscreen, gloss black strip across, and then the glass window. Then you've got a small little window in the C pillar. Charging port is on the rear left hand side. AC up to 11 kilowatt. Sorry, 7 kilowatt in most markets, 11 kilowatt in some markets, and then DC, like all of the Stellantis brand, up to a charging curve of 100 kilowatts with an average of 77 kilowatts. So you can go to 10 to 80% in about 20 odd minutes. Overnight charging, 7-8 hours on a domestic wall box. The battery pack in underneath is a 50 kilowatt hour battery with a 45 kilowatt hour usable. It's a 100 kilowatt motor, giving you about 126 PS, 230 odd Newton meters of torque. So it's very similar to the Mach-E or Mach-Electric it's going to be called. It's very similar to 2008. A lot of the Stellantis brands, but you do have that extra length in the rear, but also in the boot, the bigger capacity with the 510 litres. Let's have a seat on the inside to see what it's like fixture and fittings wise. What's it like inside the Citroen e-C4X? On the door, on this specific model, you've got a bit of flashing of fabric, which is the same fabric that we're getting on the seats. These are leather seats, but you can get them on Alcantara, you can get them on cloth, and there's a mixture of both. On the door, you've got your electric wing mirrors adjustments, and then the 4 electric windows, front and rear. Good decent sized bin, some soft plastics, some leather, and then some harder plastics as you work further down. Very similar to the C4X, sorry, e-C4, you've got these large gloss black vents either side and a central console underneath. Nice steering wheel, leather clad, multi-function, sticky tactile buttons with this gloss black plating underneath with the silver edge. Steering wheel is reach and rake. And you've got a 5-inch screen in behind the steering wheel with the illumination, and you've got that pop-up head-up display screen that comes up like on the regular e-C4. Over my left knee, you've got the head-up display adjustment, headlight, heated steering wheel, and then you can open the boot from here as well. Moving across, then you've got some crossover from the Citroen C5X, which is kind of a midway point between the e-C4 and the C5X. So it sits on that crossroads between it, but this is the new Citroen MyDrive system. And what you have here is you have a kind of a widget setup where you can actually go into the application drawer and see all the different applications that are it. So it's very reminiscent of how you customize your mobile phone. 2 shortcut buttons with regards to one for car settings and one for the actual home button. In underneath that, you have hazards, center locking, physical dual zone, aircon, and temperature, heated seats either side, 3-stage, recirculation, etc, etc. In underneath that, then you've got a Qi wireless charging pad, USB Type A and a USB Type C. And on the right hand side, I've invested in a little device that will let you know what's the wattage output on that. So I'll stick the picture of that up on the screen now and then work it out, because I get the amps and the volts, but I don't. You have to work out the wattage. But below that, then you have a little carrying space. You have about 30 odd litres of storage space across the Citroen e-C4X, 12-volt charging pad, little secret pocket in underneath, somewhere to stack your phone or key, etc. You've got the typical Stellantis switchgear with the drive modes, the drive mode selector, reverse neutral, 2-stage regenerative braking, and then you got your electronic handbrake. Bit of glass black going on here, but we'll forgive it. You've got 2 cup holders here as well able to take a bottle, as you can see, and the armrest is movable and a smallish arm seat underneath. Like on the e-C4, you have your iPad holder. The tray underneath then can be used to store the actual holder itself or other things, and then not a bad glove box for a left-hand drive, but I'm sure once we get it into the Irish market there'll be a fuse box on that side, so it might not be as practical. You've got a speaker on the A-pillar, you've got a speaker in front of the screen, you've got your good size rear view mirror, and I'll talk about that when I'm out driving. Head unit, you've got the retractable sunroof, SOS buttons, little reading lights, etc. And you've got your visors with your LED lights built in. Seats are super comfortable. They're the active comfort seats with that 15mm extra foam, memory foam in it. They're heated as well. Front, I think they also can be heated in the rear. Sunroof is a great addition. There is a blind for that. It's manual. So there are some things in this that are manual that might be more might be electrified and a more premium option. So you might have an electronic blind in a more expensive car. Speaking of price, we don't have prices yet. I don't even think in the UK, never mind Ireland, but they will be coming in the Feel Pack, Flare and Flare Pack. So the same trim levels as the e-C4. That seat is set for me. I'm 188 centimeters. Let's have a seat in the back where the space is more evident versus its sibling, the C4X. Sorry, the e-C4. In the rear of the Citroen e-C4X, you've got that little bit extra leg room. As I said, I'm 188 centimeters, 6'2". The feet can sit in underneath. The seats are really comfortable, and you've got a slightly more of a recline. It's normally 25 degrees, but this is 27 degrees. You've got decent sized door pockets. You've got that flash of fabric again. Windows don't go all the way down, but not far off. You've got some storage in underneath. You've got vents, air vents in the back here. You've got USB Type C, USB Type A again, and I'll put up on the screen the readout. I think it's the same as the front. So you definitely fit 2 adults in the back here with a central smaller person. Speaking about in the center, you have a armrest with dual cup holders and a kind of a phone holder. And you also have the ability to access the boot as well with a ski hatch for length that's coming through. Headroom, 1 or 2 centimeters, so decent. I'm slightly above the norm in height. 2 isofix in the back as well, so big improvement in the rear, big improvement in the boot. This is really what you're getting. So the price is probably going to be an extra couple of thousand versus the regular C4 e-C4. Let's take it out for a drive.
This video is in partnership with Nevo.ie, Ireland's dedicated EV website. Nevo's on a mission to create a seamless transition to electric driving for everybody. Browse different trim levels and all Citroën plug-in models and book your test drive today. See the different trim levels, and we'll even have the e-C4X on the site once we get the price. Go to nevo.ie today. Huge thanks to my Patreon supporters, new Patreon Heinrich Leisner, Adrian Carey, Blake Boland from EV Life Ireland, Eve Daly and Mark. Lots of ways to support the channel. There's links in the description. But just comment, like and share. That'd be great.
The magic carpet ride starts to really show itself off with regards to that hydraulic dampening suspension, adjustable suspension. Like any reviewer of a Citroen of lately, it's all about the comfort and the zen, etc, etc. So it's a beautiful ride. The seats help, the suspension helps. Here in a park, trying to not knock anybody over, especially the 2 police officers that I just passed. Seems to be kind of like a dog walking park. I know Darwin would, my beagle would love it here. Some other YouTubers weren't too impressed the fact that it was a pop-up screen for the head-up display. I'm okay with that. And the fact that you can adjust it as well, sometimes I think it's better than some of the fixed screens. Pickup is good. It's like all the Stellantis because there's nothing much difference in it. It is a small bit more weighted, which is nice with regards to, because it has that slightly longer body. Drag coefficient 0.29. It has a WLTP of I think 340 or 360, mid 300s, and real world you're probably going to be getting the high 200s, you know. And if you really look after it, and I know I was chatting to Dean and Linders and he was saying he was driving an e-C4 for a while, and when he stuck it in eco mode he was getting great range out of it now. So I didn't do that the last time I had the e-C4, but when I get this again I definitely will. Visibility out the rear, and I know I got asked this question when I did the first impressions video of this when it was over in Ireland at the dealer conference. The windscreen, because it's not split with that spoiler like you have in the e-C4, the visibility is great. Good size wing mirrors. This version has the blind spot. I'm not sure if blind spots on all of them, but it is very handy. Sometimes I'm hopping between press cars and one doesn't have blind spot. I need to remember that I need a little look over the shoulder. Should have a look over the shoulder anyway, as Des will tell me. Small bit of road noise over the A-pillar. With electric vehicles it's very difficult with road noise because there's very little noise from the actual electric motor. Everything is heightened. It's not bad. This Audi wasn't going to let me out anyway. Pickup is good. The Newton meters of torque in the mid 200s, 226 I think it is. Yes, smooth. Like it's so nice. Like in long journeys, stick it on cruise control and you are just, and the fact that there's more boot space now and more rear space, it's a real winner. I hope the price is right. Some people think that the battery is not fit for purpose with that 45 hour, but you know what, on a daily basis, and in Citroën at the presentation on the site they were saying that if you do go on long journeys, the offering on the screen, I'm not sure if it's the same for Citroën Ireland, is if you did need a longer range Citroën with a combustion engine, potentially a hybrid, that you could get the loan of it for a number of days over a 2-year period. Kind of like it's there if you need it. So for the majority of your journeys, it is adequate, absolutely adequate. Like, who does big mileage on a regular basis? And if you do, you'll be looking at EVs with a slightly larger battery or larger range. But the efficiency, and again, at the talk last night, we had the CEO from Citroën talking at it, Vincent, and he was talking about how he feels that the SUV just is not aerodynamic enough potentially for car manufacturers to eke out as much efficiency as possible. And so coming back to this fastback, saloon, sedan, whatever you want to call it, this is that slightly hybrid where you're sitting slightly higher as well. I think it's a lovely combination. I'm a big fan of the looks. And as I said previously in this video, but also in my e-C4 video, I didn't like it at the start when I saw it initially, the front of it. And I think the front is definitely growing on me. And the rear, I really like the rear. People comparing it to a Genesis, people comparing it to Polestar, I did in my previous videos. I showed it to somebody in the office during the week, and they were talking about how they felt it kind of had a Renault Megane kind of a feel about it. Interesting. But yeah, driving wise, seating position, the seats, steering wheel is a good big size steering wheel as well. It's not too flat top, flat bottomed as well. It is just enough to see the actual screen, and then you got the head-up display as well. Join into the comments and let me know whether this is something you're interested in, what you like, what you don't like about the Citroën e-C4X. As I said, I'm a fan. I like the looks. I think it's a good package. I think the battery is a decent size for the majority of people. Let me know what you think. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. Always trying to grow that audience. If you're interested in electric cars, vans, bikes, buses, there should be a playlist for you on the channel. Remember, if you think an EV is for you, leave it to me and I'll review. Thank you very much for watching.